Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and this is one of my new programs that I have started because in between I had lost touch with the market. I was not doing any analysis on a daily basis, focusing on detailed drill down on each of our genomic companies. So now I'm going to be sharing, this is I think the 4th or 5th episode so far. Every morning I'll be sharing my thoughts for the day, my game plan for the day, and I invite you to give me your ideas as well because friends, we are all retail investors. And I think you guys know as much or even more than what I do. And I can always get the benefit of your ideas. And the rest of the community will benefit as well. So watch the video and put your comments in there. I've seen a lot of great comments from our community and it has been helpful. So let's get started with today's daily show. And the first thing I'm going to do is to get into the Nasdaq Futures and have a look to see if I can see what is happening out there. Does it give a clue about tomorrow? There is no clue out here. It's a very marginal positive out here of 0.04%, which means nothing. It can change on a dime. If we go to indicators and look at QQQ, market has closed and it's at 403.39, and if you look at this very carefully, it has just bounced off our resistance, which was at 406.75, which was the previous high that we had hit on two occasions, once on the 19th of November and the next was somewhere around the 28th of December 2021. And you would recollect that I had drawn a cup and handle target before we had all this downward movement and before we got a bull flag. I was imagining that after the first dip, it would go up. And this is what could happen. We could reach a target of 493.68. But I had my own doubts about it because our interest rate was high and there are a lot of geopolitical risks as well as political risks. So I was thinking that it's going to be very, very tricky to go all the way up to 493.90, which happens to be a jump of approximately 27 or 28% approximately. So I was always skeptical that we would reach this. And then we came up with a conservative plan that let us assume this is a bull flag and this is the flagpole. And based on this, assuming that the exit from the flag happened out here, we came with a price target of 402.80, which has already been surpassed. It has already blown through this line of resistance. When I drew this target, I was very skeptical that we might cross this line of resistance because a huge area of selling pressure which had kept us below and pushed us down earlier. So we have crossed that. There is nothing to prevent us getting back into this and moving exactly like this and then going down. That is one possibility that can happen. But if we did cross this line of resistance, I would be looking for a bounce back from 406.75. In other words, go up, then come down, and then bounce back. And that's when I think I will bite, assuming the next conservative level, which would be that I will assume that this entire segment, right from here to here, is the bull flag, in which case our target, intermediate target is 443.00. So that will be my target. And at this point of time, if I look at the MACD, it is absolutely bullish and the momentum is very strong and RSI is totally overextended. So it's got to come back down. And remember guys, Friday is quadruple witching. Tomorrow is quadruple witching. I think you'll see this video on Friday. So I don't want to confuse you. 15th of December is quadruple witching, and we'll get to know what happens in the market on the 15th, and we'll also get an after effect on the following Monday. So I'm going to wait, as I said, for us to go up, test this, and come back out, and that could take up to Tuesday. I don't mind losing an opportunity to make profit, but I don't want to get locked in at a high rate and then the share price comes down and I'm forced to liquidate and realize my losses, or sit there for as long as it takes for the share price to come there. So I would rather wait. I have got 50% of my portfolio in cash and the other 50 is already invested. VIX has gone up. As I was thinking that VIX would go up, it has gone up. We'll have to see whether it is sustained upward movement. Momentum is picking up. MACD is also bullish. So we will probably see more volatility tomorrow, especially with the quadruple witching. And then S&P 500 has gone up. It opened very high and then it came down and traded in a margin of very, very narrow margin. There is a little bit of indecision out here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with S&P. Dow Jones has done extremely well. US dollar index continues to fall because the yields are going down. And as a result of the falling US dollar, you will have US oil picking up, and US oil is picking up nicely. I bought Exxon, as I told you before. I bought ExxonMobil. It has picked up nice and decent. I think I bought it at the right time. If you look at put-call ratio, currently the put-call ratio is sitting at 0.844, so it is slightly bullish. And then we look at the 55 TW, which is basically S&P 500 stocks about 20-day average. We have a little bit of a drop there, but still almost 87.26% of those companies are up there. And SSFI, which stands for 50-day average. So these are S&P 500 stocks above 50-day average, and they are more or less at the same level that they ended yesterday. So nothing much out there, but there are very few companies left which can push the index up further, and we have resistance at 94.20%. So at any point of time, that is the maximum number of companies that go above their 50-day average. So with that said, let us go and have a look at the movers of the market. And I was right in selling off my Microsoft and Google and Meta and all those shares, basically because we can see that Netflix is down, Meta is down, Microsoft is also down 2 days consecutively, Google is also down, and the only one, Amazon is also down. The only one that is doing slightly okay is Apple. And I think there is some kind of a rotation that's going to take place. These are the big shares that moved the index. Now the index is still moving up marginally, and that's all coming from other shares because clearly Meta, Microsoft, Google, and all are not contributing to that rally. So I think Microsoft and Netflix fell today around 2.3%, while Amazon and Alphabet declined 1.1 and 0.9% respectively. And Apple and Meta declined marginally by minus 47%. And I think Apple was decent. I wouldn't say Apple declined. It's just that it has not registered a big positive. It is just up 0.08%, which is neither here nor there. And if you look at the Apple chart, you can see that it was a doji candle out there. Total indecision, a very narrow range of trading, and that was just adjacent to where we closed yesterday. So conviction is what people are searching for out here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a turn down and it becomes an evening star or something like that. Experts say that small caps will lead the rally while Magnificent Seven will step back. I agree with that. I think the dovish Fed helps the genomic companies that we focus on, as it is high risk, high reward combination, because marginally more attractive than before right now because the yields are going down, and only after the first rate cut will we see sustained tailwinds that are strong enough to make a sustained push for genomic shares to go upward. Right now, everything is sentiment. Nothing has materially changed. It's just the Fed has come and spoken their mind, and they have increased the number of rate cuts that they see happening from 2 to 3. And on part of the street has increased its expectation of rate cuts from 5 to 6, all of 25 basis points. So that is the adjustment that has happened, and most of the positive reaction you are seeing here is the exuberance from that. Nothing has materially changed in terms of things on the ground, in my opinion. One area that will see direct and early positive impact will be banking, because let us go to the banking sector. So we have the banking sector here, and there are a lot of gainers here. Bank of America, SoFi, Goldman Sachs. See, look at the handsome gain that they have had. And I think this is all because of multiple reasons. The first thing will be because as interest rates decline, their risk profile will improve as borrowers will be much better able to meet their commitments. So this is point number one. This also means that the loan loss reserves that they have to keep will be reduced, and the money that is released from there can either go to buy back shares, which are right now low, or it could go to reward shareholders in some other way as higher dividends or special dividends or something like that. Also, lower rates will spur demand from the housing sector because housing market will start booming, and then there will be demand for mortgages. And another aspect will be that the Fed will start reducing the reserve requirements, and that would allow more lending. And for regional banks, the market value of the treasuries will improve and strengthen their balance sheet as yields improve. So if SVB had survived at this point of time, it will be in a really good situation because all of its treasuries would have higher market value, and it will have a very strong balance sheet. So I expect regional banks also to start appreciating. That's what I would say. And of course, our focus in this channel is genomics, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't look at other things, because at the end of the day, we are in here to make some money. So that's what I would say with regard to that. Next, I would like to go and look at our genomics. And in genomics, I have sorted this according to the winners. NVTA has the biggest gain at 11.36%. Let us look at it to see if there is any news. There is nothing out here except NVTA sells certain stocks, certain assets of Uscript platform to ARKG. So that was November 16th. So that doesn't make any sense. And there is this article from Zacks which says what makes NVTA a new buy stock, and it says NVTA could be a solid addition to your portfolio given its recent upgrade to a Zacks rank number 2. This upgrade is essentially a reflection, etc., etc. They are talking about the Zacks rank. A company's changing earnings picture is at the core of Zacks rating. The consensus measure of EPS estimates from the sell side. Okay, yada yada. Where is it? Where is the reason for this? For NVTA, rising earning estimates and the consequent rating upgrade fundamentally mean an improvement in the company's underlying business, and investors' appreciation of this improving business trend should push the stock higher. So what they are saying is that there is a earnings upgrade out here, and that's the reason why the stock is going to go up. I'll read that up and I'll make a separate video on it. Let's go on to Bluebird, which has done very well. Friends, there is a very positive news out here. Bluebird has signed a pact with an insurer for sickle cell gene therapy. Of course, I'm making a separate video on this, but the fact that they have been able to sign up with a insurer has given fresh impetus to the stock, and it has bounced up to 3.30. Again, sentiment stocks, sentiment movement basically, and all the exponential moving averages have pushed it down. But this is good because we have gone back into the bull channel that we were on before, and that's a good footing for Bluebird to be in, starting to look good. DNA jumped 11.8%. And they have a few more alliances under their belt. And Ginkgo Bioworks gets a grant to develop live cell delivery platform for certain antibody therapeutics. And 2 days ago, Ginkgo and Arbor Biotechnologies collaborated on precision editors. So there has been a lot of activities happening. I haven't done a video on DNA in a while. That's on the cards for next week. I'll talk about this in detail, but that's what is pushing Ginkgo Bioworks up. And if you look at Bionano Genomics, one of our subscribers said, it's time to look at Bionano Genomics. Yeah, I'm going to take a closer look. It has jumped 8.67% out here. I was a bit dubious about their balance sheet. I'm going to check everything out and see if we should have a special focus on Bionano and make a video on it. Cancer Journal publishes special issues dedicated to OGM's impact on hematological malignancy research. So OGM is the technology that's used by Bionano Genomics. So it's going to be really impactful for the valuation of Bionano Genomics, and that's what is pushing it up. I think I'll do a video on Bionano as well. PACB is doing extremely well. It has jumped up further, and if you look at the news, there is something which says why PACB is moving, noting a solid management team, the market opportunity of long read, and refraining from taking over the short read market. So those are the factors that made Stephens to initiate coverage. So the coverage initiation could also give a boost. And I'll do a separate video on that. There is a lot of material to talk about. We have plenty of videos lined up for next week, and you'll find some of these out there. Caribou Biosciences has done very well. It got pushed down by the resistance here at 6.27. And if you look at the news, I don't think there is anything major out here. It's pure sentimental move. Verve has gone up by 7.59%. These are all handsome gains, my friends. We don't see this every other day. This is all thanks to Fed Powell and the sentiment that he generated. And Wall Street analysts believe Verve Therapeutics could rally 260.31%, and here is how to trade it. This is again another of those Zach's reviews. I'll do my own review and present a video on this next week. Illumina is up. I was very tempted to buy Illumina today. I placed an order, but it did not get fulfilled at the rate that I wanted. So I couldn't get it, but I believe that Illumina is on the way up. Things are improving. The new CEO is using a clean slate and getting started. ARKG is doing extremely well, and it has gained 6.06%. Of course, this is the overall sentiment of the CRISPR segment. You can see everything is green, so ARKG is also galloping. And it has converted a resistance into a support at 29.96, so that's a good news. And another support has been created at 31.11, which was earlier a resistance. So 2 supports and all the 4 exponential moving averages below it. It's looking very strong. Just the RSI is overbought, so there'll be a bit of sideways movement, or maybe it will be above the RSI for a little, above the overbought status for a little while, depending on the strength of the market. And we have a reality check coming to us tomorrow, that is Friday, 15th of December, and also on Monday. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, wait until Tuesday before doing anything. Intelia was narrowly traded, total amount of indecision out here, but price has jumped along with the sentiments. Allogene up 5.45%, Beam Therapeutics up 5.34%, and there is no new news here other than appointment to board of directors. That's it. And Editas is up 4.23%. Of course, they are riding the wave of getting revenue for selling CRISPR rights to non-exclusive rights to Vertex. And look at Prime, it's up 5.34%. And then we have CRISPR Therapeutics up 2.46. I'm slightly disappointed that CRISPR Therapeutics has not gone up much sharper, but I'm very hopeful that it's going to pick up further tomorrow. There could be some option actions and other things which might probably unravel on Friday, that is the 15th of December, with the quadruple witching. Let us see if there was any impact out there. IMTX was down, and Vertex was up marginally 0.38%, which is around $1.53, so that's decent. And Gilead was down 1.50%, and this is a bearish candlestick signal from the Japanese candlestick method, so you might see a bit of a drop, but I think the drop happened because the RSI was overbought and it promptly came down. MACD is still bullish, so I am still hopeful that Gilead will pick up again. But for all the pharmaceutical companies, let me just take you to the pharma sector. For all the pharmaceutical companies, the biggest headwind for them is Joe Biden's policies of reducing pharmaceutical prices and putting some kind of regulatory cap on them with the Inflation Reduction Act and other initiatives that he's taking. So that's what is putting a little bit of damper on them. In my personal portfolio, I have got Johnson & Johnson, which is profitable, and I've got Pfizer, which is not profitable. I've lost a lot on Pfizer, but I believe in Pfizer. I think it will come up eventually. It's going to be a long-term hold for me. Johnson & Johnson also is a long-term hold. So I have those two in my portfolio. So that's what I would like to offer for today. And just before we leave, futures is still looking slightly positive. Friends, I have recorded this on Thursday night at around 8:56 p.m. My game plan for Friday is just to watch and see how it goes. I'm not investing any money on Friday. I will try and see if I can sell any covered calls for CRISPR Therapeutics, at a good premium. And if that is possible, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm staying on the sidelines, and I want to see if QQQ goes above the resistance that it couldn't cross today. and if it can bounce back off that resistance and go further up, and that's when I'll buy. Otherwise, I'm going to wait and see what happens. Quadruple witching is on us on 15th of December, which is Friday, that is tomorrow. And anything can happen. We don't know what is the status. There is 5 trillion worth of options to expire. Where will the chips fall? We don't know. As retail investors, we don't have all the data in our hand. So we'll have to wait and see until the end of day on Friday. And also on Monday, there will be a spillover. So on Tuesdays, when I'll reassess everything and decide whether I want to get in or not, I have 50% of my portfolio in cash and 50% invested. The ones that I invested are already in loss, and I'm waiting on them. And some of them are profitable, like Johnson & Johnson and Berkshire. So I think I'll keep them. And also, so that's my game plan. I'd also like to hear from you. Please put in comments what you are thinking, what's your game plan, how you're doing, how much are you in cash and how much are you invested? Is your portfolio profitable? Any information is always helpful. A few of our subscribers had given detailed comments, and I really appreciate, and that also helps me think and bring you better ideas. So I'm happy about that, friends, and I look forward to hearing from you. With that, I would like to end this video. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.